I'm in New York. Welcome to the vlog. We being me and my mother, whom I adore, it's day 2. Yesterday, we had a jam-packed day. We went to Today, on the other hand, we plan to go to Central Park, which I'm fucking stoked about. And then we're gonna go to the Met, and then we have Wicked in the evening. So I thought, what a fun idea to video it. Okay, let's go. And so we left the hotel and somehow found a church in the middle of the city. So weird that you can be in like the busiest city in New York and then see this. Look at that, you're a freaking goddess. To be completely honest, the city was completely overwhelming for me, but we had planned to rent bikes and then go through Central Park. What ended up happening was that my mom was, for whatever reason, not able to rent a bike, and so instead we had to walk through the park, which was totally fine, really lovely, but we both kind of had to readjust our expectations as to what the day was going to look like, but it ended up being totally fine. The park was the first place that I was able to feel like I could regulate and not feel overstimulated. I mean, look at this dog. He's such a happy guy. We rode the iconic Central Park carousel together completely alone, which was really fun, and then we went for lunch in this little cafe. The food wasn't amazing, the drinks weren't amazing, but it was a good time for us to just stop, relax, chill, and then readjust and go out again. The next stop on our list was the Metropolitan Museum after feeding a squirrel some gluten-free bread. Don't worry, it was fine. And we noticed the massive lineup out front, and I'm not gonna lie, I was exhausted at this point and really nervous and scared about having a meltdown, but they gave me an accommodation that was so insanely helpful. I wanna say the Met was so accommodating to us because there was a long-ass line outside and it was hot, and that's hard to be in when you're autistic. And so we went through the back area that was more accessible, and like we're in like that, so power to the Met. The Met was beautiful and we had so much fun exploring everything, but at this point of the day I was definitely overstimulated and hadn't eaten enough, and so once we were leaving I felt better, but we took an Uber instead of walking because I was tired. We got a nice big meal before leaving for the show, and we eavesdropped on absolutely everybody. Apparently Al Pacino's PR guy was behind us. That was pretty cool, but yeah. Something I found myself thinking about today was how I don't often feel like I am disabled enough to ask for accommodations. We wanted to go to the Met, and we hadn't pre-booked in advance, but even if we did, there was this massive lineup to get into the museum, and we had just gone at a poor time in the day. We probably wouldn't have been able to get in because the lineup was so long, it was hot, it was uncomfortable. I get very claustrophobic in crowds, and it often is very loud because people in front of you and behind you are talking, and that can be a lot for me. And that's partially because I'm autistic. I realized that there was a different entrance that we could go in, and I thought this is one of those times that I could go in and say, hey, I'm autistic and I'm gonna use this entrance instead, is that okay? And they would likely be like, yeah, that's totally fine. But I questioned in my head, am I disabled enough to deserve this accommodation? Ouchie. But we did do that. We went through a different entrance. It was easy, they were super kind and really lovely, and it helped so much. The accommodation made all the difference. It changed the course of the day. I had so much guacamole dip at that restaurant. Oh my God. Now we're having 30 minutes of downtime, and then we're gonna go to see Wicked tonight. I'm so excited. We are now off to go see Wicked. We spent, how long was that? 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
Yes.
Yes. 15 or 20 minutes in the room doing nothing. On to the elevator we go. And now we're gonna go see the show that I've been dreaming of seeing since I was a wee little lass. I will cry. I bet the next clip of this will be me after the show crying. Okay. Oh, sweet innocent Hayley, how wrong you were. You mixed up the time actually for the show, which was actually starting at 7, but you showed up at 8, and so you missed half the show. Haha, so you had a meltdown. the entire show and couldn't watch any of it. That's great. Had a full meltdown. Cried for pretty much the remainder of the show just because we missed so much of it, and this was like the show that I was really looking forward to. My mom stepped up as the rock star she is, and in intermission, because we were there for like the last 10 minutes of the first part of the show, she went and found someone to talk to, let them know the situation and that I was in full meltdown. So I wasn't even like enjoying the show because I was just crying and like hyperventilating, and like I was scared I was gonna pass out, which is what my meltdowns look like. They said they're gonna let us go back, and so here's to hoping that happens. So we ended that night with some self-regulating and then had a wonderful day going across the Brooklyn Bridge the next day. And in the evening, we just got the confirmation that we're gonna get to go see it on Sunday. I'm really thankful for my mom and for the people at the show that are letting us do this, so. And so our little New York nightmare turned into a happy ending. Defying Gravity has been the most played song on Spotify for me for years and years. It's been a super special interest of mine this entire show, and so getting to see it in its entirety was such a blessing, and I was so excited to be there, and I could not be more thankful for my mom and for the team there. Thanks for watching.